Okay, welcome to Grue, and thank you so much for taking time out of your night and coming on, bud.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, the first thing I wanted to start out asking you is typical question is like, what drew you to want to act? Like, what made you fall in love with acting?
Totally. I've been acting my whole life, a little bit professionally, but the majority has been like, community theater from elementary school on. And I fell in love with the people that I met at theater at my after school programs and then eventually school theater in high school. And yeah, I just kept doing it because I love the people and that's where all my friends were. And now it's kind of turned into something professional. But I just loved hanging out and putting on costumes and doing little shows. And so yeah, I was doing shows in my living room for my parents, but then I finally found people who wanted to do it too. So I think
Oh,
that's really what got me into acting.
oh wow, that's awesome. So, what kind when you were doing stage work, like, did you have a certain play that you love doing the most?
Oh my gosh. Well, I a popular show that I did so many times that there was not a male role I hadn't played by the time I graduated high school was Annie, because every community theater would do Annie because
Yeah.
it's so easy and like there's so many girls. And so yeah, Annie was a big one for me growing up. I played Bert Healy and I played the police officer and Mr. Bundles, and then I also played Rooster and I played Daddy Warbucks one time, and yeah, I loved Annie, and I still to this day it's one of my favorite musicals.
Oh yeah, it's definitely classic. I mean, this musical's been going on for a very long time.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. And what was like your first role you ever had outside of stage acting?
I believe I had a one-liner on a television show that my father created called Yes Dear. Um, and my line, I came in with like a bag of pizza and I said, like, a man gave me $1 to give this to you. And that was my first line on camera, I think. And I had done extra work on the show like a few months prior, and they had to cut me out because it was a restaurant scene and I didn't understand that you had to like pace eating the food. And I was so hungry. So I cleared my plate within like the first two takes, and they had to like change the angle and because I ate all the beans and rice in the fake Mexican food restaurant. So my first line was the pizza, but my first time on camera was the horrible extra work, and I haven't done extra work since, and because they don't want me.
And, well, I mean, if you wanted to eat and no one said
I was
that,
starving. Yeah,
yeah,
it was a long day of
exactly.
filming. I didn't know like that was. No one explained that to me, and so I just cleared the plate. It's a good eater.
See, that's that's great. As long as you left the set not not as long as you left the set full, right?
Yeah, I was non-union. That was my meal voucher, so I had to do what I had to do.
Sure. And I saw you were also on a series, Raising Hope. And what did you like about playing Trevor on the show?
Oh, that was a blast. Well, I had a pet chimpanzee on the show, and I got to work with a real chimp, which I think I'm like the last person to do that because, like, like obviously we've learned things, and now I'm blanking. What's that amazing movie that just came out with the chimp actor and the aliens? I'm totally like Kiki Palmer and
Hmm.
I'm it's gonna come to me. But the yeah, so I got to work with a chimp, which was terrifying and really fun. And they had like a big one that could do the tricks, and then the two baby ones that I could handle because I was like 13, so like I couldn't carry a full chimp. It felt like it's just crazy, honestly. But yeah, I'm very grateful for that opportunity, and that I'll probably look back as an old person in the industry and be like, remember when we did that? So that's a good memory, I think.
I mean, that sounds very interesting, working with chimps on TV sets.
Yeah, it was scary. It would be like a closed set, so like no one could make eye contact with the chimp except for me, and you couldn't smile at the chimp because that's like chimp for I want to kill you. And the trainer was missing a finger from one of the chimps, and then they would just like hand it to little me, and then if it would get squirmy and takes, you had to tickle it, and they would always be like tickle it harder, and I was like, well, what if I tickle it too hard and it rips off my face? But luckily it didn't. I remember specifically my dad told me when I was a little anxious about it, he was like, look, if it rips off your face, I'll let you drop out of school and do horror movies for the rest of your life. And I was like,
Oh
okay,
my
deal.
God. Wow. But and hey, you know, you wound up doing horror films, so
Exactly. Exactly. If only it had ripped off my face, I'd do more.
and and how was it like working on set for Sprung?
Oh, Sprung was great. I mean, a lot of crossover. Garrett Dillahunt and Martha Plimpton were obviously on both Raising Hope and Sprung.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it was great. I had a lovely on-set boyfriend who I became very close with. And our first night working together, we had to do this big lip sync to a Jimmy Buffett song at like 5 in the morning. So like we met, and from like 5 minutes later we're choreographing this thing together, and so it was a great way to get close very fast with Andre. And it was a blast. It was fun to be mean. I love playing mean characters, and so it was very fun to hang out with Kate Walsh as my boss and just play like a despicable persnickety little asshole, which is my favorite. And the seats were so tight. They tailored them so tight that when I had to drive the car, I couldn't even reach the steering wheel. I was so skinny. It was great. They had
Oh
me.
my God.
I loved it. I need those suits. I need those suits. They said they were going to send them to me once we knew for sure about a season 2. So I need to get those suits. They need to send them to me. They're not
Hey,
going to anyone else.
you have to get on them now. Like say, hey, you know, I really enjoy wearing those suits on set. You have to send them to me. You know, if you don't, I'll cry or something
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, that could work. I was gonna send an Instagram message. It's like, what happened to those suits? But that's a much more diplomatic version.
Okay, that works. And so so what drew you to this horror film that you're in called Summoning Sylvia, and you played a role of Philip. So what drew you to want to play Philip on this horror comedy movie?
So I was in LA, and I had like crossed paths with Alex a few times because we went to the same college at different times, and he may be mad at me for saying this, but we'll see. Um, uh, they have a mentor program at the end of when you graduate the BFA. They set you up with an alumni, and I was graduating, and I was like, I don't need a mentor. Okay, who please. And he also was sort of like, I don't want to teach it. I don't want to be someone's mentor. So we had already kind of followed each other on social media, and we exchanged jokes back and forth from time to time. And so he reached out to me and was like, would you want to be my mentee just like off the book? And I was like, yes. If it's anyone, it has to be you. And so we stayed in communication when I graduated. And then a few months later, he reached out and he was like, I don't know if you even do drama, because he knew me exclusively as comedy. But he's like, would you just like film this and like give a take, and like we'll see if it works. And I was like, yeah, of course. I did it. I sent it to him. He like called me, gave me some notes.
Uh-huh.
I did it again. And then I think that was on like a Friday, and then on Monday they called me and offered me the role. So yeah, it was very quick, and it was and I loved the script immediately. I knew Wes from a distance because my senior year of high school, I played Lucas in The Addams Family, a role he originated on Broadway, and my high school production was as close to a carbon copy of his performance as I could have managed. So I was essentially studying him already. Um, but yeah, so then it all fit, and all the names and Vianne, it was just it made total sense, and it was the reason I moved to New York.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. So for anyone who don't know what the film is, can you tell us a little bit about the film and about who Philip is?
Yeah, of course. So The movie is a wonderful, hilarious, spooky tale of a gay bachelor party that goes upstate, and they rent this house that is allegedly haunted. And while they're there, the brother-in-law of the groom to be, he shows up, and he's pretty uncomfortable with the sort of the very just embodied queerness of the bachelor and his friends. And from there, the sort of spooks begin, and there's sort of a chaos ensues of both what they believe might be a haunting, which is my character and Vianne, who plays Sylvia. They think that this woman has murdered her son, and then they think that potentially she's murdered him because he's gay. And then, of course, no spoilers, but there's a bit of a twist at the end, which is
Yes.
heartfelt.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. It was a really good horror film. Like it definitely falls in horror comedy because it is funny at times, but then you have like the horror part of it too. So it was very well done. I liked it.
Thank you. I agree. They did a wonderful job. It's such a wonderful script, and
Yeah.
Kieran's performances are so great. I'm very proud to be a part of it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And what was it like working for both Alex and Wes?
Oh, they're wonderful. It was a blast. I mean, the entire filming felt very much like summer camp, because we would get in a van and, like, in Manhattan, all of us, like, bright and early, we drive to this house in Newark, and we like there was one pickup and one drop off at the end of the day. There was not people arriving with their call time, so, like, we were just hanging out. And for a lot of that was like the movie kind of happened, right? Like, they're all hanging out, and we're putting on wigs and laughing around, and Alex and Wes were really good at facilitating that. And they were just such a blast, and have truly become two of my closest friends.
Oh, sweet, sweet. And how was the cast like? How was working with the cast? I mean, I read that Frankie was funny on set, so
Oh, Frankie's a blast. I connected with Frankie very quickly, and yeah, Frankie is hilarious and lovely, and one of the most generous people that I've ever met, and is just overflowing with kindness. I spent a lot of my time with Vianne on there was a porch, and I would just ask her so many questions, and she was such a good sport about all the questions I wanted to ask her. I mean, I am like tried and true a Broadway super fan. Like, and it is so wonderful that I've gotten to work on television, because that is the only way for it to be cool. Like, if I was just working in theater and I was as nerdy about theater as I am, it would be embarrassing. But the fact that I'm like, somehow it balances out, and I'm so grateful. And so I had so many questions for her about her Broadway debut in Smile, which was this parody musical, or sort about based off a movie with Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, some of their early work. And
oh,
I just wanted to know everything. And she had just done the Music Man at the Kennedy Center, and I had so many questions about that. And she was so kind and generous to answer all these questions, and we got very, very close. And it's a friendship that I'm very, very grateful for.
wow, that's sweet. That's sweet. I like that. And and where did you wind up filming at? Like the place and all, like when the haunts start happening, look very eerie. Like where did you wind up filming like the scenes at?
Yeah, the whole thing was in this house, with no air conditioning, and it was already kind of a naturally, I don't know, maybe this is not appropriate to say, creepy house. I think they definitely zhuzhed it up, and I never saw it without the set decoration, but the
Mhm.
bones of the house were creepy. And yeah, it was not hard to embody fear when I was sort of shoved into a small little basement space. It was creepy down there. It was.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah. And is there a scene from that you had the most fun filming from the movie?
I unfortunately didn't get to have a ton of the fun, which does stink. I watched a lot of the fun, but a lot of, obviously, my scenes were very serious, which is fun in itself. But I think the most fun I had is that final moment, where me and Vianne have that scream, when Michael Urie's character sees us. and that scream was really fun. We did that. That was like one of the last things we filmed, and we did like 3 takes of just like kooky Lukey screaming, and that was really fun. I love the scream at the end.
Nice. Was there any funny or cool behind the scenes stories that happened while you were filming?
Well, yeah, probably. Let me think. I mean, we filmed in 19 days, so ultimately it did kind
Oh,
of fly by pretty quickly. So we were, it was, there was a sort of pace to the entire thing of like we're moving.
yeah.
Um, but I loved all the days the boys were in drag. One of my dear friends, who's a wonderful drag queen in New York City, the Blair Bitch, came on set and helped do some makeup. Yes, and Domino Couture, who does like all the Drag Race girls, all their fashions and outfits, was also on set, which I was like, the whole time was me sort of just like asking people questions and sort of basking in their glow of their incredible resumes. But the drag stuff was so fun. I was incredibly jealous and having major FOMO the entire time, but I had fun watching them enjoy themselves. But
Oh,
I was sort of itching to be in drag myself.
the Blair bitch. I like that.
She's
That is
incredible. She's incredible.
hysterical.
If you're
Oh
ever
my
in
God. I've never
Brooklyn,
heard.
or I think she performs in Manhattan too, but she's
Really?
a Brooklyn girl. Check her out. She's great.
That is so funny. The Blair witch, the Blair bitch. That, oh
Mhm.
my God, I love it.
Great. She's great.
And how do you feel like now, like how everything is now? Like it looks like more queer films and TV shows are being made than it was, say, like five years ago. Like it 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 seems like the roles are starting to actually happen now, and films and TV. Like how do you feel about how everything is going now?
I mean, I think this project is a great example of things that I personally want to continue to be a part of,
Mhm.
where the I kind of have a rule, and this may come bite me in the ass if I ever break this rule, but I try not to do roles where the central problem of the character is that they're queer and they don't want to be, or they're queer and they're trying to figure that out. I don't really want to do any more coming out scenes. I don't want to do, I'm talking to a mom who's like, well, you shouldn't be gay. And I'm like, but I'm over that.
Yeah.
We've seen it, and there's people who will do it and they'll do it great. But I'm not, as someone who probably, no, as someone who was identified by their peers as gay before they were able to even maybe put words to that. I'm not
Mhm.
interested in telling a story about someone who's holding on to a secret, because I'm not someone who um was ever able to conceal that secret. And I think this movie tells the story of people who are like that, and
Yeah.
also their problems are not their queerness.
Yeah.
They're
Exactly.
obviously intertwined, and there are certain elements of their conflicts that um, are unique to their queerness, but their central issues are not their queerness. And I think that's just a direction I would like to continue to go in. And also, to be in a movie with so many different types of queer people is always a blessing, because so often it's like, if you're lucky, you have a boyfriend, but you're like the gay character, which is great, and I'll keep doing it, please. But if I'm lucky, I'll get to be in a room with all kinds of different gay people, because we're all different, and so you can
Yeah.
have a TV show that isn't just the gay character.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's like you were saying with this movie that you're in. I mean, the characters are gay, but it don't focus on that.
And it is so ingrained in the plot. It is their experience. There are so many conflicts that are unique to their queerness, but the
Mhm.
conflict is not their queerness, and I think
Yeah,
that's what's so
exactly.
exciting.
And what do you like doing during your free time when you're not auditioning and doing films and theater?
Okay, well, I currently freelance at a costume shop that does special events, where I'm a professional rhinestoner.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I for like th- essentially people hire them to bring in a band or performers or whatever for their parties, and then we also costume them. And so with that, and then also in my own projects, I make a lot of costumes for myself. I love to play dress up. It's literally why I am an actor. And so yeah, the thing I do in my free time is like rhinestone and make costumes and make and yeah and make wigs and all kinds of silly stuff. So sometimes for other people, mainly for myself. But in my free time, I own more costumes than clothes, and I hope to continue to grow that collection.
That sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like a ton of fun.
It's like Halloween for me is like everyone I know comes over and I'm like, just bring a pair of shoes you like. You'll leave in a costume, but you don't get to like, and I've sort of become, I mean, I've always been this way growing up. Like all the neighborhood would drop off their Halloween costumes come November 1st because they knew that I would use it all year round. But I
Really?
continue to be, yeah, and I continue to be the person that someone will be like, I've got this sparkly sequin dress. Do you want? Someone just gave me one the other day. That's why it's top of mind. But like, I got this thing. You want it? I'm the person they text, and the answer is always yes. I'm a bit of a sequin hoarder.
So I take it you're a big fan of Halloween.
I love Halloween. It's the one day of the year that everyone's on the same page as me. I wish it was every weekend, and it frustrates me that it can't be.
I know, right? Like that's my favorite holiday. I love Halloween. I love Halloween night, but I love the whole season of Halloween. Like from
What were
when
you this past year?
this past year, I was actually one of the killer clowns from outer space. I don't know if you ever heard of that movie.
Yes, absolutely. That's awesome. That's very cool.
But but yeah, it's my favorite time of the year, Halloween season, and the 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 weather, the fall weather, and going to haunted houses and the hay rides and all that stuff. Do
Mhm.
you ever do that too? Like going to the haunts?
So I used to make haunted houses as a kid in my
Really?
backyard, but I have no interest in going in them, which I don't know what darkness that says about me. I think it's because it was like similar to Halloween. It was like a theater that I could like. It was a show that I could get people to watch. Like if I'm like
Yeah.
it's a haunted house. It's me being like. Then that but no, I have no interest in being scared, but I like, and I've always really been fascinated with the behind the scenes videos that Halloween Horror Nights post. I think they're really
Yes.
interesting, and I watch all of them, but I have absolutely no interest in going. I do not want to be scared. But I'm fascinated by like the theater of it all. I love the set design and they did this set decoration on all the costumes and special effects makeup they do. I find fascinating, and I'm so intrigued. I have no interest in going.
Okay. And what about horror films? Are there any horror films that you like watching?
Honestly, I haven't watched a ton, but I do. I watched Midsommar with my brother during the pandemic, and
Yes.
I
Yes.
thought that was such a fantastic movie. And yeah, that's probably one of my favorites because I found the story of it to be phenomenal, and I was just left with so many questions, but like in a way that me and my brother had never really talked about a movie together the way we talked about this movie. Like we continue to have questions and conversation about it, and
Oh,
I think
wow.
that's such a indicator of a good movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's a great film. Like just like the story's great, and it's spooky, and like everything a
Yeah,
good horror film should be.
yeah, and a little grotesque at times too. There was definitely some like, yeah, I don't even have to say, but oh, oh my gosh, oh my.
And what about songs? Like what kind of music is on your playlist?
I listen to a wide range of stuff. Like my Spotify playlists are embarrassing. My biggest fear is that someone would have access to my Spotify history. But for the sake of sharing, I really like movie scores. I listen to a lot of movie scores. L- yeah, I really like big band jazz, but then also I love like Maggie Rogers and but also I love Broadway. I listen to I mean that's what I was getting to. I listen to a lot of Broadway, and the premiere of Summoning Sylvia was my daily mix in a room, and I had to play cool because it was every Broadway legend, and I was like, I listen to these people every day, and I had to be chill. Especially Carolee Carmello, who she sings the title song throughout the movie that like the
Yeah.
boys are lip syncing to. I mean, legend. And I've been lucky enough to have a few conversations with her throughout this process, and every time I'm really fighting to keep my cool. I know my armpits start sweating, and I'm like I gotta play it cool. I don't know. I mean, I've ruined the illusion. If I had kept it cool, now I've ruined the illusion. But yeah, Broadway. The answer is Broadway. The answer is
And if if you had to do a karaoke song, what would be your go-to?
that is hard. I I had to do a karaoke song. The first thing that's coming to mind is "Push It" by Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
Um, Mainly because I like to dance to that song, but I guess I could also karaoke. That's my like go-to song if I need a song in an audition. I play that in the like the audition because I think it's funny. And I recently actually just got a job that I'm about to go film because I added about a 30-second dance break to Push It in the middle of the audition that was not scripted. So it is kind of my lucky song.
Oh wow. Do you even do the like dance that they do in the video, the push it dance?
No, not that, not in this one. This one was just without saying too much, like the character entered on stage, and I was like, let me have this character dance for a little bit, and so
Okay.
I added that, and I got the job.
Dear, hey, whatever works, right?
It works, whatever works.
And what was the last song you heard that got stuck in your head?
Okay, so I this is a silly answer, but I at my day job they have a playlist of like
Mhm.
some of the same like 30 songs, and there's one song that I wish I had a golden skip, and it's Little John's Set the Roof on Fire. And I work the mornings. I work very early, like I'm at work at 5 a.m. and
Um,
somehow it's always one of the first three songs, and it's just like blaring, and it like I feel it in my spine, and I hate it, and it gets stuck in there. So we set the roof on fire. That one, hate it.
yeah. Um, and what's your fashion sense like? Are you someone who likes to dress up, or do you like casual?
Oh, I mean, I like a costume. My fashion sense is I'm going to the club. This past weekend, was at my local bar.
Mhm.
The top three of RuPaul's Drag Race performed, Mistress, Sasha, and Lux Noir London,
Oh,
as well as some
okay.
incredible local girls I love, Dev Doe, and Mariah. And it was like a spring ball, and so I made this like big puffy pink mini dress with this bunny head piece that I rhinestoned everything. It's covered in rhinestones. So if it's up to me, I'm in a full costume.
Nice.
I would wear them everywhere if it was a little bit more socially acceptable, but it's hardly socially acceptable at the bar, and I'm doing it anyway. So yeah,
There
my
you
fashion
go.
sense is sparkly and short, legs out if I've got the choice.
Okay, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So if I was ever in a bar and saw someone walking in like that, it's probably going to be you, right?
I mean, it could be me or one of my many people in my crazy parade. I mean, I don't let people over to my house before we leave until I've approved whatever ridiculous thing they're wearing. It's
Really?
I travel in a pack of sparkly chaos. Yes,
Oh my God, that's so funny. I love it.
it's a blast.
That's like that movie. Oh my God, what's that called? Party Monster. Did you ever see that?
No, I'll have to check that up. I mean, if there's a sparkly parade, sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's like it was like this person led like a a group of like young people in their 20s. And they would go to different clubs dressed in like all kinds of stuff, like outfits and sparkles, and they would go to
Sounds
like
about
all
right.
the clubs dress like that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely my weekends.
Oh wow, okay. Well, if they ever make that movie again, you should definitely star in it.
I'll let them know. I'll let the powers that be.
And which app do you like using the most?
I do enjoy Twitter. I've yeah, I enjoy making little jokes on Twitter. I have to read what other people say less because I can definitely spiral and doom scroll. But I like putting out on Twitter and not as much risk taking information in. I'm always on my phone. I'm an Instagram addict. I'm obsessed with everything. Yeah, I live on my phone. It's bad. It's bad. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy you actually knew what I meant when I said app. One person I interviewed, I asked them what their favorite app was, and they told me Sniffies.
Oh, well, that is one too. I mean, I don't know what that is. I thought you were gonna say like they said like onion rings or like the spinach dip because those would also be my favorite apps.
So yeah, I remember after I like got off the interview, I looked up what Sniffies was, and I was like, oh,
Is this one of our cast members? Was this someone from Summoning Sylvia?
no, it wasn't one of them. I forgot who. Like it was like a couple weeks ago, I interviewed someone. And they were like, I was like, and then I looked it up. I was like, oh, that's what that is. Okay.
I was really hoping it was one of our cast members. That's funny.
And is there a junk food that you like to eat the most?
Oh, um, I'm I'm obsessed with McDonald's. I unfortunately moved very close to one, which luckily it closes at 11 p.m., which is the best thing that's ever happened to me because I, it would be really bad if it was 24 hours, but I love McDonald's. I have my entire life. I think it's because my parents, well, my mom did not let me have McDonald's growing up. My dad is also obsessed with McDonald's to the point where growing up, she would make him eat it secretly in his car. He was like, you can't bring it around the kids. It's like, if you're going to do it, that's fine, but I made dinner and you can't do it. And so it became like, it was naughty. And now I'm addicted, like a repressed child. Um, and yeah, I have the app. The discount, the deals are incredible. I highly recommend you get the app if you don't have it. And I'm always getting different things. I'm always switching it up because no matter what, it's always gonna be good because it's McDonald's.
Yeah, I love the chicken nuggets. Like oh my god, they're
What's your
so good.
sauce?
Like
What's your sauce?
the I usually do the barbecue sauce with the, but like every time I go to every time I go there, like that's my thing. Like I always get that. I don't get nothing else. Like when I go to McDonald's, it's a 20-piece nuggets.
Mhm.
I'm a slob when it comes to that. Like I'll go there and I'll order a 20
It's
piece
high
instead of
art. It's
10.
no, it's very McDonald's is very important to culture. And also, I have a prediction. I get chicken nuggets, or I prefer them at a McDonald's inside a mall. I think those are better for chicken nuggets because for some reason, well, mall McDonald's I think are better in general because they're smaller, so they have
Yeah.
to make more fries, they have to make more chicken nuggets, and so they're always hotter and crispier. So I prefer nuggets at a mall McDonald's, but at a larger kind of city McDonald's, I'll do a Big Mac or cheeseburgers. Just a tip from a professional.
Oh, okay. You
Experience.
know what? The next time I go to the mall now, I'm actually gonna go eat at. I'm gonna go eat there. I'm gonna see like how hot and crispy the nuggets are.
It's better. I don't know why, but maybe it's the taste of nostalgia. But a mall McDonald's will always be the superior McDonald's.
Hmm. Okay, okay.
I'm really gunning for a sponsorship. Can't you tell? I really am gunning for a sponsorship. I think I'd be great.
And, which usually your drink of choice if you're at a bar or club?
Oh, I'm honestly not a huge drinker. I don't really like alcohol.
Okay.
But if I'm like gonna put something down, I'll have like a vodka cran. Is that too on the nose? I'm not a huge drinker.
Okay.
I like a beer when I have pizza.
Yeah.
I have a Monday night play group led by one of my dear friends, Cameron King, who she assigns a play or a movie script every Monday night, and we order a bunch of pizza, and we all get roles, and then we do the play or the movie around a table, and then we talk about it. And I like to have a beer with my pizza at that. That would be my answer.
Okay, okay, you go. And are you more of a beach person or like an outdoors guy, like a camp hike person or a beach guy?
I'm like a fluorescent lights air conditioning guy. I spent all my childhood summers inside in a theater camp under fluorescent lights, and everyone would come back tanner to the beginning of school, and I would somehow be paler. I don't really care for being outside. I suppose, gun to my head, the beach maybe, but it had to be a good one. California, I grew up in California, and the beaches in California are so cold. I
Hmm.
don't get them. Yeah, I prefer to be inside, air conditioning.
Okay, okay, there you go. Is there like an artist or band or festival that you would love to see for this year?
Oh, well, the first thing that came to mind when you said festival is every year there's not far from where I live, Bushwig, which is the like big 2-day drag festival of like it is
Oh,
a worldwide. Every single drag performer in the world has like a 5-minute slot, and it's like the Coachella of drag. And I went for the first time last year, and it was one of the most fun days I've ever had. And I got to see Lady Bunny, Juno Birch, and then a bunch of incredible local performers that I am a big fan of. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to that this summer. I've already bought pieces for one of my outfits because it'll be 2 days, so
okay.
I'll have 2 different outfits. But I got some of the pieces for the first one, and I'm gonna start putting it together. Very excited.
Nice. Now, is the Blair bitch gonna be there?
Oh, I think so. Last year she did an amazing. She did Funky Town was her number, and she had this horse prosthetic, this like unicorn horn, and she had like an entire horse snout. It was epic. It was great. Yeah. Uh, so I'm certain that she'll be on the lineup next year or this year.
Okay, cool. And is there anything coming out for you that you want to plug or push? I mean, we all know you're in this amazing horror film that's out now. Is there anything else you want to plug?
No, unfortunately not. There's nothing at this moment. I'm about to go film something that hopefully I'll be able to talk about soon. Of doing an episode of a TV show that I particularly am a very big fan of. So I'm glad that I'm going to get to be a part of. There, yeah, that's all I can. I was going to say what season it is, but I can't say that. But besides that, no, I'm always if you, on my socials and stuff, I do like little shows here and there throughout Brooklyn. I just did a Legally Blonde parody show starring Jan from RuPaul's Drag Race and an incredible TikTok and Instagram star named Julianne Cookies, who they both split the role of Elle. One of them was more Reese Witherspoon, the other Laura Bell Bundy, and I played Vivian, Vivian Kensington / others. And I think we're going to do it actually again in LA on May 16th. If I think I got the offer to return, but I don't know. I may be kicking myself once this comes out because I didn't get the offer again. But yeah, that's what I'll plug at the Bourbon Room in Los Angeles, May 16th. Now they have to put me in it.
Okay. And where could fans follow you at?
I'm on Instagram at Camden Garcia later, and I'm on Twitter at just Camden Garcia. Yeah, my Instagram is just pictures of me in different costumes. I think that's quite literally my bio is pictures of me in costumes. So if you want to see any of the aforementioned rhinestoned outfits, they're all featured on the Instagram.
Nice, nice. Well, thank you so much for taking time and coming on. It was really fun meeting you and chatting.
Wise, thank you so much for having me. And you're talking to Troy next, right?
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Send him my love. We were texting about it today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm curious what his favorite app is going to be. Actually, really interested. Yeah, I'm curious. He's gonna say like Pinterest or something that's a lie. I
Well,
will.
I will definitely let you know what he says is his favorite.
Please. Please. I'll need to know. I'll expect an Instagram DM.
Okay, you got it.
Perfect.
Well, all right, buddy. Again, thanks again for coming on and doing the show. And definitely anytime you want to come back, I'm more than happy for you to come back. And by that time, I'll probably have a working laptop again.
Fingers
And
crossed.
but yeah, thanks for doing this. It was fun.
Thanks for having me. This was a blast.
Thank you. Have a good one, buddy.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.